Today we're going to adapt a node to the screen to set up how your content is displaying.
Let's see how to place elements on the screen. Placing positions and managing the different sizes of elements on the screen. Unlike a design software like Figma, on Voltapp we cannot place them arbitrarily because we do not know in advance what size the user's screen will be. The placements are dynamic and depend on other content elements. Technical note: Voltapp is based on the flexbox of CSS, the language that defines the design of a website. Except that instead of writing CSS code, we can directly manipulate the attributes of different nodes. Two components help us to arrange the elements. The layout component helps us to place attributes per node. The other is nodes, that allow us to define the layout of their child nodes, like the section node, the most use. It will allow us to define the horizontal or vertical order of the placement of its children. The other nodes are all grouped in the layout category of the nodes menu. Overlay will allow you to overlay nodes, and grid will display a grid of nodes. Modular window will display a window on the top of the app, and so on. In the toolbar at the top, there is the device menu to view our application by stimulating the view on several formats, like a computer or a tablet. The responsive option will take all of the space available on your screen. Let's change the size of the browser and the responsive view will adapt. But for now, let's stay on MacBook Air. The contents do not go to the end of the screen by default because the layout of the nodes is in fit. That is to say that the contents of the node define their width and height. Adding characters to the text node makes it grow. This can be seen even better by changing the background of the text. Section will make the size of its content, which are those of its children. Here the image is the widest content, so the section has an identical width. Why does the image stop here? It is because this is by its base resolution. By changing it, taking an image on the unsplash image base, usually large, we see that the section grows. If I change the image to fit a specific resolution, the section still fits. But if I change the width of the section from fit to 100%, it will take 100% of the size of the parent node, which is the entire width of the screen since it is the tallest section. The same goes for setting 100% of its height. By changing the device, the image remains a specific size, but the section still fits. Similarly, I can specify that the image take 100% of its parent node, which is the section, and so on. We'll later see enlarging and shrinking. Then, the margins can be internal or external to a node. For example, on the image, we can change all of the margins at once with the left option, or side by side, like here, 20 pixels to the right. I can put internal margins, which as you can see, remain inside the node. If I change the image with a white background, it can be seen better. The margins can also be expressed as a percentage of the size of the node, like a 50% left margin. Finally, the last element is hide, which allows you to change the visibility dynamically, which can be transformed into a Boolean variable named hidden. If I change the name of the button to hide image, customize its code with its graph, and then indicate that if the user clicks on the button, I set the value of hidden to true by its default, it works. This can be very handy for keeping only the essential nodes on the screen, based on a device size or user type access. All visual nodes have layouts. Let's take a closer look at section. Let's remove our button. Let's add 3 text child nodes. The section attributes are multiple. Direction allows to change from vertical, top to bottom, to horizontal, left to right. You can add sections within sections to customize the distribution of your screen. Reverse allows you to change the order from bottom to top, for example. Align allows you to distribute the child nodes on the secondary axis. Align left, center, right, or distributed. Distribute allows you to do the same on the main axis, aligned at the top, center, bottom, or evenly with an edge distance twice as small as the distance between the elements, or with no edge distance, or exactly the same distance everywhere. You can play with the align and spread to organize your content. Spacing will set an equal pixel spacing between each node in the section. Let's see how this looks on the parent section. And now on the child section. Off will make the node unclickable and make it a bit gray. Sticky will make the node frozen, even though the rest of the element will scroll when you scroll, like a search bar. Scroll will allow you to scroll them if needed if there are too many nodes on the screen. For example, if you decrease the size of the section to avoid its nodes to overflow, you activate scroll. Enlarge allows you to manage different sizes. Let's keep only 3 nodes to stimulate a website. Let's rename the text nodes and give them different colors. Let's remove the spacing. Let's set header width to 100%, content to 300 pixels, and footer to 100%. I want the content to take the maximum size available by pushing the footer. For its content, setting the remaining size of content would be difficult. Let's click for Content Enlarge on True, and we see that it fits correctly. Magnify works well on different screen sizes. If we use Enlarge several times by duplicating the content node, we see that both of them share the maximum possible size. Let's look at Shrink. Let's switch them to horizontal, and let's shrink it to a width of 200 pixels. If I'm on a device with a small screen, fixed sizes are problematic because you might not see all of the elements on the screen. If I click for Content Shrink to True, then if it needs to be less than 200 pixels to display other elements, it will shrink. Feel free to play around with the layout and section to create dynamic screens that fit all of your different screen sizes.
Thanks for watching.